Welcome to Condensed Conflicts, where we play Warhammer Fantasy with 6th edition army books and 7th edition rulebook with a few tweaks. Today we have a 2250 point pitched battle between Tomb Kings and Empire. The Empire army list, led by an Elector Count, is an adaptation of a list called Richtmark Battalion. This list focuses on having a highly resilient center in the form of heavy infantry units supported by the general and the battle standard bearer, and backed up with magical and mundane artillery and a mobile flanking cavalry. As a cherry on top, there is an unbreakable steam tank to crush enemy lines. We play steam tank with 7th edition rules for more balanced and streamlined gameplay. The Tomb Kings army list, led by a Tomb Prince, is a defensive list, centering around the catapults wreaking havoc. The mage heavy list tries to achieve magic phase supremacy and relies on hidden units to disrupt the enemy. Large swath of skeletons fire volleys of arrows before reforming to stop any approaching foe. In case of a defense breach, Ushaptis are a hard-hitting unit kept on the ready. On the 6x4 foot battlefield, we have a simple terrain of few hills and a few forests. The game starts with spell generation. Tomb Kings have no spells to generate. Empire has 2 mages with the Lore of Fire, both which know 2 spells. First one rolls 4 and a 6 for Fire, Blast and Wall of Fire, but changes the Blast for a Fireball. The second mage rolls 4 and a 5 for Fire, Blast and Conflagration of Doom, but changes the Blast for the more easily castable Fireball as well. Both sides roll for deployment, and Tomb Kings win by rolling a 5, choosing a side by deploying the first unit. Tomb Kings deploy 20 skeleton archers, and the Empire deploys 5 pistoliers with a marksman. Tomb Kings deploy 20 skeleton archers with a banner, and Empire deploys another 5 pistoliers with a marksman. Tomb Kings deploys 20 skeleton archers on the hill. Empire deploys 24 spearmen with full command and a detachment of 10 free company. Tomb Kings deploy war machines, 2 streaming skull catapults on the hill. Empire deploys 24 swordsmen with full command on a hill, as well as a detachment of 10 free company. Tomb Kings deploy 5 Ushapti behind the hill in a line, facing to the right. Empire deploys 6 inner circle knights with full command. Tomb Kings deploy their characters. The general, a Tomb Prince, joins the catapult crew. A Lich Priest on foot joins the line of skeleton archers, and a Lich Priest on horse hides behind the hill. And finally, the Lord, a Lich High Priest on foot, who is also the Hierophant, joins the skeleton archers atop the hill. With this, the Tomb Kings finish their deployment. Empire deploys 6 inner circle knights of the White Wolf with full command next to the other knights. Then the war machines, a steam tank and 2 great cannons. And finally, the characters. A battle standard bearer on a horse joining the spearmen, a fire mage joining the spearmen, another mage joining the swordsman, and a lord, an Elector Count on a horse joining the swordsman. This finishes the Empire deployment. Then a roll for the scouts, but neither army has any scouts. Next, it came from below deployment. Tomb Kings plays 4 markers. Roll for start. Both sides roll 1, but Tomb Kings finish their deployment first, so they get a +1 to their roll. Tomb Kings declare their casting order to hieratic hierarchy. First the prince, then the priest on foot, priest on horse, and last the hierophant. Tomb Kings turn 1. Movement begins with no charges. Skeleton archers and the Lich Priest move forward. Skeleton archers and the hierophant move forward down the hill. Skeleton archers on top of the hill adjust their position. Ushaptis turn around and walk forward. Next, in the magic phase, Empire generates 4 dispel dice. Tomb Prince casts extra shooting to the catapults he is crewing, and rolls a 6, which the Empire lets through. Catapult shoots at the steam tank, guessing a range of 36 inches, but misfires and does not shoot. Lich Priest on foot casts extra shooting to the other catapult, rolling a 7, which the Empire lets through as well. The catapult shoots at the steam tank as well, guessing a range of 34 inches, scattering a further 2 inches but does no damage. Lich Priest on horse casts extra shooting on skeleton archers and the hierophant, rolling a 4, which the Empire lets through. Archers shoot at the swordsmen on a hill with 20 shots, killing 1 swordsman. Hierophant is revealed to have the mighty plates, and casts additional shooting for the line of archers, rolling a 6 for the power level, with Empire dispelling with 2 dice, rolling a 10, successfully dispelling the spell. Hierophant casts shooting for the archer line once again, this time rolling at 13, but the Empire dispels with a scroll from a fire mage. At the end of the magic phase, the Empire reveals that one of the fire mages has a rod of power and stores the 2 unused dispel dice in the rod. Then in the shooting phase, the catapults shoot at the steam tank, guessing 34 and 35 inches, both hitting the same spot. The first catapult misfires and does not shoot, and the second scatters 6 inches away safely. Then the line of archers shoots at the steam tank, 20 shots causing a wound to the tank. Most archers guarding the hierophant shoot at the steam tank as well, but causing no wounds. It is made out of metal after all. There are no combats, so next is Empire turn 1. Steam tanks generates 4 steam points to use. Movement phase starts with no charges, the swordsmen march as well as their detachment, the spearmen march as well as their detachment, pistoliers, knights and the other pistoliers march, and the steam tank rolls forward with all of its steam for 12 inches. In the magic phase, the Empire rolls for the dice in the Rod of Power, succeeding. Empire generates total 8 power dice. Tom Kings generates 6 dispel dice. Fire Mage in the Spearman unit casts Wall of Fire on the line of archers, rolling a 12, which Tomb Kings dispel using a dispel scroll from the Lich Priest on horse. Fire Mage in the Swordsman unit casts Conflagration of Doom on the archers, guarding the Hierophant and rolls a 16. Hierophant is revealed to have a blue Kepra, granting the unit magic resistance 2. Tomb Kings dispel by rolling 6 dice. Empire stores the 2 unused hover dice in the Rod of Power. In shooting, Empire cannons shoot at the catapults. First cannon shoots at the catapult on the left, guessing 30 inches, and the second at the one on the right, guessing 32 inches. First one rolls 2 additional inches, falling a bit short, killing 1 archer instead. Second cannon rolls extra 8 inches, hitting the catapult dead on, destroying the catapult. The crew, however, remains, as there are no combat the turn ends. Tomb King's turn 2. This turn, it came from below markers, arrive on a roll of 4+. Marker 1, a unit of swarms, comes. Marker 2, a scorpion, comes with the scatter, and marker 3, a scorpion, comes as well. Marker 4 does not come. The swarms charge the pistoliers, and the first Tomb Scorpion charges the closer cannon crew, and the second scorpion charges the steam tank. The pistoliers try to stand and shoot, but break in the fear test. The cannon crew holds, and the steam tank stands and shoots. Pistoliers flee 13 inches through the Knights of the White Wolf and off the battlefield. Wolves take and pass their panic tests from the friendly units fleeing through them. Swarms reach the White Wolves, and they redirect their charge to the White Wolves. Cannon crew holds. Steam tank shoots at the other scorpion with multiple shots, but causing no wounds before engaging in close combat with the scorpion. Then in the remaining moves, archers on the hill turn, expand their front by 5 models, and walk down the hill. The Ushapti walk forward and turn 90 degrees towards the Empire edge. Lich Priest on horse moves out of the way of cannon fire. Archer line moves onward, while the archers, the Hierophant, expand their front by 5. In the magic phase, Empire fails to get extra dice from the rod. Empire generates 4 dispel dice. Tomb Prince realizes he should have joined the other catapult in the movement phase, and casts extra movement on itself and joins the other catapult crew. Lich Priest on foot casts Healing on catapult crew to raise the destroyed catapult, rolling a 3. Empire dispels, rolling a 4 and dispelling the spell. Lich Priest on foot uses Hieratic Jar to cast Healing again, rolling an 8, which the Empire dispels with a dispel scroll from the other Fire Mage. Lich Priest on horse also casts Healing on catapult crew, rolling a 6. Empire dispels, rolling a 6 as well, dispelling the spell. Hierophant also rises the catapult, rolling a 13. Empire lets it through, and the spell restores the catapult to full health. Then the Hierophant casts additional shooting for the fresh catapult, rolling a 14, which the Empire lets through. Catapult shoots at the knights visible from behind the forest for 28 inches, which overshoots by scattering further away. Magic phase ends, and the Empire stores the 1 unused die in the rod. In the shooting phase, the first catapult shoots again at the knights behind the forest, guessing for 28 inches, while the second one shoots at spearmen for 25 inches. The first shot misfires and does not shoot, and the second one scatters away, hitting nothing. The archers guarding the Hierophant take aim at the swordsmen with 14 shots, killing 1 swordsman. The line of archers shoot also at the swordsmen with 14 shots, but killing no one. Finally, 2 skeletal archers shoot at the knights, missing altogether. Shooting ends, and we have the first combat of the battle. Swarms and the White Wolves. Swarms charge with 15 attacks, killing nothing. Steel saves lives. Backlash from the knights, who can reach, brings us 5 attacks, causing 4 wounds. In addition, their horses make 4 attacks, making for additional 3 wounds. Combat resolves with the Empire side getting a total of 9, while the Tomb Kings get nothing. Tomb Kings lose the combat by 9, and the swarms suffer additional 9 wounds, wiping them out. Then the Scorpion that charged the cannon crew strikes first with 4 attacks, making for 3 wounds, killing the cannon crew straight out. Scorpion overruns 9 inches, hitting the second cannon. Then the other Scorpion makes 4 attacks at the steam tank, causing no wounds. Steam tank just sits there. On combat resolution, however, the steam tank has a higher unit strength and wins the combat by just overnumbering the Scorpion. Tomb King's side loses the round by 1, but the Scorpion counters the wound from crumbling by being a construct. Combat ends, and the next turn is Empire 2. First, the steam tank generates steam points for a total of 8. Movement starts with no charges. The Fire Mage with the Dispel Scrolls leaves the Swordsman unit, and the Swordsmen march alongside their detachment, with the Mage moving behind the unit. The Mage with the Rod of Power also does the same, leaving their unit and following them, while the Pikemen and their detachment march forward, as do the Pistoliers and both of the Knight units. In the magic phase, the Empire gets 1 die from the rod, even without a roll. Empire generates a total of 7 power dice, while Tomb Kings a total of 6 dispel dice. Fire Mage behind the Spearman casts Wall of Fire on the archer line, rolling a 13, which Tomb Kings dispel with a dispel scroll from the Lich Priest on horse. Fire Mage behind the Swordsman casts Conflagration of Doom on the skeleton archers unit, hazing the knights, but unfortunately doesn't meet the casting value of 12. The remaining power die is stored in the Rod of Power, and the magic phase ends. In the shooting phase, the steam tank shoots at the line of archers, but is out of range. In combat, combat, Steam Tank begins by grinding on the Scorpion with all of its 8 steam points for 15 impact hits, which causes more than enough wounds to remove the Scorpion from the battlefield. In the Empire backline, the other Scorpion attacks the other cannon crew with 4 attacks, making another 3 kills. The Scorpion doesn't overrun anymore. Combat ends, and next is Tom King's 3. It Came From Below is on 3+ this turn, and the last marker, a Scorpion, comes. The new Scorpion charges the Fire Mage with the Rod of Power, which reacts by fleeing. The charge reaches the Free Company detachment, and the charge is redirected. Then in the remaining moves, they push up the wheel in preparation of a counter charge. The archers on the hill reduce their front and move the remaining 2 inches down from the hill. Lich Priest on foot leaves the unit by revealing a Cloak of Dunes and flying off the unit, hiding behind their force. The Hierophant does the same, walking behind the Tomb King's line. The archers the Hierophant left from reduce their front, and the archer line reduce their front twice. In the magic phase, the Empire doesn't get dice from the rod because the mage is fleeing. Empire generates total 3 dispel dice. Tomb Prince casts shooting on the catapult he is screwing, rolling a 4, which Empire lets through. Catapult shoots at Steam Tank for 22, but scatters away safely. Lich Priest on foot casts movement on the archers, rolling a 10, which the Empire lets through. The archers then charge the swordsman, causing a fear check, which is prevented by the Electro count, revealing an icon of Magnus, making the unit immune to fear. After moving the skeletons in place, the detachment counter charges the archers. Then, Lich Priest on horse casts shooting for the Hierophant guarding archers for 6, which the Empire dispels, rolling a 4, failing in their attempt to stop the spell. The archers shoot at the exposed Fire Mage for 10 shots, causing 3 wounds, killing the mage. Then, Hierophant casts movement to the same skeletons, rolling 11 for the power level, which the Empire has to let through, and the skeletons charge the rear of the Free Company detachment. Lastly, the Hierophant casts shooting for the second catapult, rolling a 10, which the Empire lets through. Catapult shoots at the Steam Tank for 24 inches, misfiring on scatter, and does not shoot. Magic phase ends, and next is shooting. Both catapults shoot at the Steam Tank, guessing 24 and 23 inches. First one is a hit, dealing 2 wounds. Second one scatters a bit, but misses. Next, the front rank of the combat formation archers shoots at the White Wolves for 4 shots, making no kills. Combat begins with Scorpion fighting against the detachment of Free Company, making 4 attacks, causing 2 wounds. Because of clipping, only 1 Free Company soldier can attack in return, making 2 attacks, causing 1 wound to the Scorpion. Combat resolves with Tomb Kings getting 2 from the wounds, and Empire getting a total of 3. Tomb Kings lose the combat by 1, and the crumbling is negated by the Scorpion being a construct. Next, the combat in the middle. The Empire side yells a challenge, but no one answers. Being the most recent charge, the archers on the rear of the Free Company detachment strike first with 6 attacks, causing 1 death in the Free Company. The Free Company strikes next with 8 attacks, causing 3 wounds, and 4 models attacking with another 8 attacks, causing 1 wound. The original chargers, the archers, attack next with 2 attacks allocated towards the champion of the swordsman unit, who is saved by armor. The remaining 3 attacks strike the rank and file, causing 2 wounds on the swordsman. The swordsman retaliate with 3 attacks, killing 2 skeletons. The Electro count's horse strikes once, but causes no wound. The Electro count strikes last for wielding a great weapon, and finally strikes thrice, killing 2 skeletons. The combat resolves with Tomb Kings having a total of 8 and Empire having a total of 16. Tomb Kings lose the combat by 8, with both archer units crumbling for additional 8 wood. Empire turn 3 starts by Steam Tank generating 5 steam points. Inner Circle Knights have an open way and charge the Lich Priest on horse. The priest holds, and the Knights take a fear test, which they pass with a 4. The fleeing Fire Mage rallies, and Pistolers march onward. Steam Tank burns 4 points to move forward. White Wolves are march block and only move forward. Spearmen are denied march as well, and they move forward. Magic phase starts with the Empire generating a total of 4 power dice. Tomb Kings generate a total of 6 dispel dice. Fire Mage has Fireball on the Lone Scorpion, rolling a 7. Tomb Kings dispel with 1 die and 1 from magic resistance, rolling more, dispelling the spell. Empire stores 2 unused dice in the Rod of Power. Shooting starts with the Steam Tank using the last steam point to shoot with the template weapon at the Hierophant and the Lich Priest on foot, hitting the Hierophant but missing the Lich Priest on a partial hit. The hit on Hierophant causes no wounds. Steam Tank continues shooting the Hierophant with the Engineer shooting triple multiple shots, making 1 wound to transfer with the Collar of Shapers on a 4+ save, which fails and the Hierophant takes a wound. In combat, we start with the Inner Circle Knights charging the Lich Priest on horse. The fight starts with a challenge from the Empire side, which the priest cannot refuse. The Knight Champion makes 2 attacks, causing a wound to the priest. The champion's horse attacks but misses. Lich Priest strikes back but misses. The priest's horse attacks but misses, and combat resolves with the Empire having a total of 3 and Tomb Kings having the high ground but still losing the fight by 2. The priest crumbles for 2 wounds and dies. The Knights overrun 9 inches, reaching the Lich Priest on foot. The cluster in the middle starts with 3 companies striking first due to the initiative order. 4 models attacking the back with 8 attacks killing 4, and 3 models attacking the front with 6 attacks killing 1. The swordsmen make 4 attacks killing 2 more, and the Electro count's horse misses. Then the skeletons in the rear strike, but all miss, and the 1 archer facing the swordsman fails to wound. Finally, the Electro count strikes 4 times, making 3 kills. Combat resolves with Tomb Kings having a total of 4 and the Empire having a total of 19. Tomb Kings lose by 14 and both units crumble for 14 wounds. However, during the game, we forgot to crumble the other unit. Finally, the other Free Company detachment strikes the Scorpion with 3 models making 6 attacks but causing no wound. Scorpion strikes back with 4 attacks causing 2 deaths. Combat resolves with Tomb Kings having 2 for kills and Empire having 1 for outnumbering. The Empire loses by 1, failing their break test, but as the battle standard is nearby, they reroll and pass. This finishes Empire turn. Next is Tomb King's 4. At the start, Tomb Kings declare no charges. They push up this turn, expand front, and walk forward onto the hill. Tomb Prince joins the other catapult crew. Hierophant walks forward out of the way of the charging knight. The archers, now in combat formation, walk forward to block the Knights of the Wild Wolf. The Scorpion, that didn't move last turn, starts to head towards the Fire Mage. Magic phase starts with the Empire trying to get stored dice from the rod but failing. Empire generates a total of 3 Dispel dice. Tomb Prince commands the catapult he crews to shoot, and Empire lets it through. The catapult shoots at the steam tank, piercing the minimum range of 12 inches, hitting the tank. The shot scatters to the swordsman after partial hits 4 die, and they take a panic test at -1 leadership due to Screaming Skulls shot with foe skulls. The unit holds under the watchful eye of the general. The Lich Priest on foot casts movement on the Ushabtis, rolling a 7. Empire dispels with 2 dispel dice, dispelling the spell. Hierophant also casts movement on the Ushabtis, rolling a 9, and the Empire has to let it through. And the Ushabtis charge the flank of the Knights of the Inner Circle. Hierophant casts shooting for the other catapult, rolling a 15, which the Empire lets through. Catapult shoots at the steam tank for 12 inches, hitting the tank spot on, causing 4 wounds. Empire stores the 1 unused die on the Rod of Power. Shooting phase begins with both catapults shooting at the steam tank with a range of 12. First one misfires and may not shoot, and the second one misfires as well, and gets a malfunction. In the combat phase, Scorpion strikes the Free Company with 4 attacks, causing 1 wound. The humans retaliate with 4 attacks, but causing no wounds. This unfortunate combat resolves with the Empire having outnumber for 1, and Tomb Kings having 1 for the wound. The combat is a draw. The Free Company fighting the archers continues, the Empire striking with 4 models, making 8 attacks, causing 2 wounds. The Skeletons make 4 attacks, causing a wound. The combat resolves with the Empire having a total of 4, and Tomb Kings have a total of 2, losing the combat by 2 and crumbling for 2 more. Before the Ushabtis strike, the Knights Champion challenges the Lich Priest, who cannot refuse. Then 3 Ushabtis make 9 attacks, causing 3 wounds. Then the Champion makes 2 attacks on the Lich Priest and wounds. Then the Champion's horse makes an attack and kills the priest. The combat resolves with the Tomb Kings having a total of 6. Empire has a total of 3 and loses the combat by 3. Losing against outnumbering fear-causing enemies, the Knights only stay with a roll of double 1s, but do not roll it and flee. Ushabtis pursue and the Knights are caught. The Ushabti are moved and stop before hitting the Hierophant. Empire turn 4 starts with a steam tank generating no steam out of fear of causing more damage to itself. Then the Knights of the White Wolf charge the skeleton archers. Pistoliers march forward. Spearmen are march blocked, so they only wheel and walk. Swordsmen walk and wheel. The Fire Mage feels safer in the forest. In the magic phase, the stored dice come out of the Rod of Power. The Fire Mage sees no viable targets, stores 3 dice in the rod, and ends the magic phase. In the shooting phase, the steam tank engineer shoots at the Hierophant with 3 multiple shots, making 1 wound to transfer with the color on a 4+. This fails and the Hierophant loses another wound. The pistoliers shoot at the prince, throwing the catapult with a total of 11 shots, causing 1 wound to the catapult instead. Combat starts with the White Wolves striking the archers with 6 attacks and killing 2. Their horses make 5 attacks but kill none. The skeletons strike back with 2 skeletons, causing no wounds. The combat results with Tomb Kings having a total of 5, Empire has 3, and loses the combat by 2. Having lost to an outnumbering fear-causing enemy, the wolves will only hold on a roll of 2. They don't make it and flee. The skeletons pursue while the knights flee from the battlefield. The skeletons in the middle take a beating from the Free Company, which makes 10 attacks, killing the archers. The Free Company strikes the Scorpion with 6 attacks, causing no damage. The Scorpion makes 4 attacks, making 2 wounds. Combat resolves with Tomb Kings having 3 and Empire nothing. Empire loses the combat by 3, but again, losing against outnumbering fear-causing enemy will hold only on Snake Eyes. The Free Company breaks on its first roll, re-rolls, and fails again, and the company flees. The Scorpion pursues and catches the Free Company, ending up in the forest. Tomb King's turn 5 starts with the Ushabtis turning and expanding their front. The remaining archer unit walks onward, trying to capture the enemy table quarter. The long-forgotten Scorpion backs down to hide behind the hill, and the other Scorpion walks out of the forest, preparing to assassinate the battle standard bearer in the Spearman unit. Magic phase starts with the Empire getting the dice from the rod, generating a total of 5 dispel dice. Prince starts again with casting shooting. For the catapult he is screwing, rolling a 4, which Empire dispels, rolling a 6, dispelling the spell. Hierophant casts shooting on the catapult, rolling a 10, which Empire lets through. The extra shooting is used up to fix the previous malfunction. Hierophant casts shooting for the other catapult, rolling a 9, which Empire dispels, rolling 13, dispelling the spell. Shooting starts with both catapults shooting at the steam tank with minimum range 12 inches. First one scatters away safely, but the second one hits, causing 5 wounds, destroying the tank. This causes panic in the units close by, but all pass under the watchful eye of the general on leadership 9. There is no combat, so Empire turn 5 starts with no charges. The remaining Free Company turns, expands its front, and walks forward. Swordsmen adjust their position, while Pistoliers use their free reforms to reach the Hierophant best they can due to being march blocked. The Spearmen walk forward and change the position of the battle standard bearer to protect it from the Scorpion, while the Fire Mage stays in the forest. In Magic phase, Empire generates a total of 4 dice. Fire Mage casts Fireball on Scorpion, rolling a 5. Tomb Kings dispels with 3 dispel dice, with 1 coming from resistance, rolling Irresistible Force, dispelling the spell. Empire puts 2 remaining dice on the staff. Shooting phase starts with the pistolier shooting at the Hierophant with 9 shots, causing 3 wounds to transfer with the color on a 4+ roll, but all fail and the Hierophant die. The phase ends and all the Tomb King's units begin to crumble. The skeleton archers fail their test by 2 and lose 2 soldiers. First catapult uses the general's leadership but still loses by 2, so the catapult takes 2 wounds. Second catapult also uses general's leadership and doesn't crumble. The Ushabtis pass their test, as do both the Scorpions. There is no combat, so Tomb King's turn 6 starts. First, the forces crumble again. The skeletons lose 4 soldiers and the rest nothing. Ushabtis turn and expand their front, and the skeletons press onward to the opposing table quarter. In the magic phase, Empire fails to get power out of the rod, so generate only 3 dispel dice. The prince casts shooting on the catapult he is screwing, rolling a 3. Empire dispels by rolling snake eyes, failing to dispel. The catapult shoots at the pistoliers, guessing 13 inches. Spot on, but scatters to the swordsman for 9 hits, killing 6, and causing a panic test, which the unit passes. Empire stores the unused die on the rod, and magic ends. In shooting, both catapults shoot at the pistoliers, guessing 13 and 12. The first scatters a bit and misses, but the second one hits spot on, killing 3 and causing a panic test, which the pistoliers pass under the watchful eye of the Elector Count with a roll of 6. There is no combat, so the next is the Empire turn 6. Turn starts with no charges. Free Company moves back to contest the sneaky archer unit from capturing the table quarter, and the Fire Mage repositions within the forest. In the magic phase, the Empire gets the die from the Rod of Power, generating a total of 5 dice. Tomb Kings generate only 2 dispel dice. Fire Mage casts Wall of Fire on the Ushabtis, but fails to meet the casting value of 12. Then the Mage casts a Fireball at the Scorpion, rolling 5, but the spell is dispelled by the Tomb Prince with the Brooch of Desert. In the shooting phase, pistoliers shoot at the Ushabtis with 5 shots, causing 1 wound to the Ushabti. There is no combat and the battle ends. The Empire gets 1,428 points. Tomb Kings get 1,589 points. The difference is 161 points to the Tomb Kings, which makes the game a draw. Got any ideas, thoughts or wishes? Leave them below. We hope to see you next time on Condensed Conflicts.